Welcome to the channel. Today we'll be reading Disney Winnie the Pooh, The Trouble with Honey. Pooh was hungry, but there was no honey to be found in his house. So he headed off to Rabbit's house. Rabbit always has honey. Rabbit, he called, are you home? Come in, Pooh, said Rabbit. You're just in time for lunch. That was exactly what Pooh wanted to hear. He squeezed through Rabbit's front door. After many pots of honey, Pooh was ready to go home. Thank you, Rabbit, said Pooh in a rather sticky voice. I must be going now. Pooh tried to squeeze out of Rabbit's front door, but he got stuck. Pooh tried to squeeze out. He couldn't. He tried to squeeze in, but he couldn't do that either. Help, Rabbit, Pooh called. Rabbit sighed. He leaned against Pooh and pushed with all his might. He pushed and pushed and pushed, but every time Pooh moved a little bit forward, he slid backwards again. Brother, Pooh said, it all comes from having it all comes from not having a big enough front door. Nonsense, said Rabbit sharply. It all comes from eating too much. Rabbit hurried out his back door to fetch Christopher Robin. Silly old bear, said Christopher Robin. There is only one thing to do. We will just have to wait for you to get thin. How long does that take? Asked Pooh. About a week, Christopher Robin answered. A week, said Pooh sadly. And what about meals? No meals, said Christopher Robin, on account of getting thin. Couldn't you just try to pull me out? Christopher Robin, please? Pooh pleaded. So Christopher Robin took hold of Pooh's paw, and Rabbit took a hold of Christopher Robin's shirt, and they pulled and pulled, but Pooh was still stuck tight. That night, Gopher paid Pooh a visit. Time for my midnight snack, said Gopher. Pooh eyed Gopher's pot of honey. He hadn't eaten in hours. He could almost taste the sweet honey and certainly could smell it. Gopher, said Pooh, I haven't eaten in quite a long time. Do you think perhaps you could share a mackerel of honey with me? Of course, Pooh, said Gopher. But just as Pooh was about to dip his hand in the pot, Rabbit showed up. Not one drop of honey for Pooh, he cried. Then he put a sign that said, do not feed the bear. Time passed, and then one day, Pooh moved. Just a little bit. But he moved. Rabbit ran for help. Christopher Robin grabbed Pooh's paw. Kanga grabbed Christopher Robin. Eeyore grabbed Kanga. Roo grabbed Eeyore. And they all pulled as hard as they possibly could. Pop! Pooh flew out of the doorway like a cork from a bottle and sailed straight towards a tree. He landed head first inside a hole in the trunk. It was a honey tree. Don't worry, Pooh, called Christopher Robin from down below. We'll get you out. Take your time, Christopher Robin, Pooh said, helping himself to some honey. Take your time. And that's the end of the story. See you guys next time.